Welcome to Driver Jay's Garage. Today we're going to be taking a look at a new jump starter pack. I'll be unboxing, testing, and reviewing the Fanttik T8 Apex jump starter pack. In full disclosure, Fanttik has sent me this unit free of charge, but I'm not being paid for a review or compensated to endorse the product at all. So everything you're going to see here is my opinions on the product and is actual testing that I'm doing with it to see for you guys if it's something that may be worth your time and money to buy and have as peace of mind in your car in the situation that the worst happens and your battery dies. With all that out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at this thing. The T8 Apex should be available at the end of July 2021 or in early August and is advertised to be able to start any gasoline engine up to 8.5 liters and any diesel engine up to 6 liters. In addition, the T8 Apex is capable of 65 watt two-way supercharging, and they claim that you can charge to 8% power, which they advertise to be able to jumpstart your car in only about 5 minutes. And being that I think that's an important feature to have the ability to quick charge, we'll be putting that to the test in this video. It might take us 2 days because we may have to kill the unit depending on how charged it is out of the box, but I do want to make sure we put that to the test in this video and give you guys an accurate idea of what it takes to get this thing charged from where it is. I was informed when I was sent the unit that I did not have the 65 watt charger that will be coming in the retail packaging. They just didn't have enough 65 watt chargers to get these out to the folks who are doing early reviews of them. The T8 Apex is also advertised at 20,000 milliamp hours and includes both USB-A and USB-C charging ports to be able to charge your phone, camera, headphones, or other wireless devices on the go. In addition, Fanttik notes that the unit is dust-proof and water resistant, and they do include a 2-year, 24-month warranty on it. But that's enough about the device. Let's go ahead and take a look at the box and see what comes with the T8 and see what everything looks like. Now that you guys have this in front of you instead of just me, you can see it is kind of a plain package. Mine's a little banged up. The package unfortunately got to me a little banged up in shipping. This may not represent the actual packaging you're going to see at launch, because again, I did get this model ahead of their launch to do testing and review, and so that there's an early video review out there for you guys to look at when the unit launches. So this is the Fanttik T8 Apex, and the box is relatively plain. One side we have the 2000 amp peak current spec. We've also got that on the other side of the box, the branding on the front, Fanttik T8 Apex on the top, on the back as well as the SKU, their Facebook site, where they're located, their support contact, and their website. So let's go ahead and take a look at this guy here. Looks like our plastic seals are not sealed here. They're not, I didn't cut them, I haven't opened this at all yet. So these plastic security seals are out of the way. Let's go ahead and pop this guy open and take a look here. This may be more of what you would see on the shelf. And I already see one thing that I actually really like about this unit, even before looking at the jump starter, and that's the fact that it comes with a case. The other two jump starters, the Noco charger and the Hulkman charger that I tested previously, did not include the case. So that's one thing that I think they've already kind of got a leg up on the competition. It does look like a nice carry case. So let's take a look at the retail packaging here on it. You've got, again, the Fanttik T8 Apex logo and stuff on the front. On the bottom, it does mention again that 2000 amp peak current. Has the same kind of stuff really the box has. It's got all of their contact stuff. So has their website, the support email, their Facebook page, and their location where you can find them. So it does look like they are based in China. But let's go ahead and pull this outer wrapper off and take a look at this guy, shall we? Toss that aside. And this case seems really nice, actually. It seems hard enough that I wouldn't worry about just chucking this thing in the trunk of my car and have it rattle around as is. I don't think that's going to be really an issue here. So let's go ahead and pop it open. It's got 2 zippers, so you could put the zippers in any array you'd like. And it does look like it seals close enough that you shouldn't get crap in the zipper. So opening it up, we've got "Room your beast up." An interesting ad. Kind of strange. It's like a plastic more than a paper, so there is all kinds of stuff on here. I'm not going to go into this, but it looks like a bunch of kind of positive message. X to be defined by you. Negativity creates positivity. Don't be the troublemaker. Don't be the troublemaker, be the trouble breaker. Interesting advertising sheet. I don't know what that is, but let's get that out of the way. Nobody cares about that. Let's get to what's in the box here. So we've got right away the charger, and it's nice and secure in here. It takes a little bit of effort to get out there initially, and then kind of pops free. It does say caution, fully charged before first use. That means we may not be able to test how they'll jump your car straight out of the box. I'm hoping that we can still do that, but we'll see what the charging level is at. Let's take this label off here and take a look at the box itself. So there is a screen that's on here. Now I'm going to pull the plastic protector off. It has your USB ports. So there you'll have your input-output Type C, that's 65 watt capable, and your USB Type A. You can see those in there. A little bit difficult to see with the lighting. It's got this nice rubber cover on here that fits in pretty snugly, and they do list this thing as being dust proof and water resistant, so I would imagine that leads to it. On the other side, they've got a little picture of the car on, a little picture of a car on the other end where you would open it up and find your pins to connect the clamps for your battery that go with the unit. So also on that side we've got a light on the bottom. There's the button to turn on the light. You have to push the power on first. Yeah, there we go. 81% straight out of the box. That's not too bad. Let's turn the light on here. There we go. So just a quick press. That is really bright. First press, steady state. Second press, flashing. Third press, red light. That took a little bit of power. We had 1% drop just from playing with the light, but that's not too bad. 80% right out of the box. I bet that's going to be capable of jumping a car. We're going to go ahead and test it at that. I like to see, because sometimes when you're in a pinch and you just have to go buy one of these guys, it's nice to just be able to go buy it, walk out to your car, attach the cables, and start your car and not worry about it. So we'll go ahead and test that out. One of the things that you'll notice here is this spot is missing. I do believe this is where that 65 watt charger that's supposed to come with is. Instead, I just have a USB-C to USB-C and a USB-A to USB-C connector. What I do like though is I noticed that there's these nice little rubber straps that you get with a little button around them. I've seen Velcro ones. I've seen nothing included when I buy cables. I actually really like that they have these. The nice thing with it not being Velcro is it won't attach to, stick to, or collect lint and things like that. So that is a nice little bonus there. And like I said, I don't know if this is where the charger is supposed to go, but I do know that at retail you will get a 65 watt. I'm only getting a 20 watt from what they've told me. So we'll go ahead and right here we've got a little Velcro. Don't pull this more than just to use it to open it, because if you just yank on that, it's going to rip. So there is your Velcro piece where it opens up and gets us to the remaining accessories here. Gets you to your jumper clamps. This is cool. The other cases I've bought didn't have, they kind of had open areas, and it's nice that they make it fit that because it's easier to get in there. That's my 2 cents. They don't have any type of clamp covering or any type of clamp separator, which is okay. I don't think it's necessary, and potentially just wears out these springs early anyways to have them in there. Nice little dust cover on there that just flips up. Okay, that's cool. I noticed on one of the other jump packs that I've used and tested that this piece is just a little piece that you kind of pull off and is easy enough to lose. I like that it's got this nice little tie or plastic piece that just holds it to the cables so you don't lose it. There's no possibility that you're going to lose it. I actually lost the one off of my Noco one. I stuck it in my pocket and apparently I forgot to put it back onto the cables and it fell out and went wherever. So I like that they have that. That makes it a lot tougher to lose that. We'll go ahead and push the clamps back in. It does fit tight, and that's good because it should keep it from falling out. We've also got in the little box here, I believe this is our 20 watt charger in my case, 65 watt charger for you guys when you get yours, at least according to their advertisement. Sure enough, it is branded Fanttik and has this nice two-tone finish on it. Looks like mine did get a little scraped up. They come with a cigarette lighter charger too. With the Noco, I actually had to buy that. So that's cool that you actually have both of those included in the package. Actually, we could probably even tuck them in there. That'll keep them a little bit safer than just leaving it in there. And maybe the 65 watt one is bigger. I know some of those chargers that pump out more power for the quick charge are a little bit bigger, but that's that. So that's everything in the box. I'm pretty impressed overall with it. It does have a lot of nice storage space, comes with the case. That to me is a big plus, not having to pay for the case. So I just stuck my 2 chargers in the little cargo net piece there and put my Velcro back down. I like that it comes with the case, and that's a big bonus to me because that's one thing extra that I don't have to pay for. Props to Fanttik. This is pretty awesome that it includes the case. That's already a point up in my book. Fanttik says this unit should be able to hold its charge for 2 years, but they also recommend in the manual that you charge it every 3 months, as this will prolong the overall battery life of the unit. They also say that the unit should fully charge with most chargers in around 5 hours, and with the 65 watt charger, it should charge in under 2 hours. So now that we've gone over the specs and taken a look at what comes in the box, I think it's time to do the most important part of this video, how well it's able to start a vehicle. Let's go ahead and head down to the garage and see if it's able to start my 5.3 liter V8 Yukon. Let's get down there. Alright guys, we are down here at the Yukon. We're going to go ahead and test out the Fanttik T8 Apex on the truck. So I'm going to show you guys how dead the batteries are on the truck. You won't see any of the lights light up. I've already kind of come down and tested some of this out. Let me grab the key here and we'll go ahead and first try the clicker. You'll notice that my doors aren't even opening from that, so we're going to have to stick the key in. And we've got no lights. We'll get in the truck here, and I apologize. There is no light, but you will see over here that we do have light and a little bit of power because it'll light up the service engine light and the control console for the 4-wheel drive. So you can see the truck is connected to the battery. We're going to go ahead and go around the front and connect it up and give it a test. All right guys, so unfortunately I already did one take of testing with this. So the truck now has a little bit of power. I'm going to start it a couple quick times, see if we can't kill the battery again. Okay, so now that you guys can hear that the truck is dead again, we're back to clicks. I'm gonna go ahead and test it out. What you guys missed out on was I did test it out. It started the truck pretty well. However, I used about 12% of the battery life getting it started. That's not incredibly bad. A little bit of that was actually wasted. I had one of my neighbors pull in and he quick talked to me about the unit, so I had it on in my hand. So about 2% was used from just kind of holding it and messing around, and only about 8 to 10% starting it. I'll go ahead and show you guys that again. So just as a frame of reference, we're at 68% charge on it as we go to start it. It is slightly more charged than it was before, but not much. You can still hear that we're just getting starter clicks. So we'll go ahead and clamp these bad boys on. And you know what, while we're here too, let's go ahead and test out what it does when we get these reversed. So there is the positive to the negative. And you get this nice little light that shows you that you are incorrectly connected. So let's go ahead and swap these to the right terminals. And we'll go ahead and fire up the truck and you guys can see this guy in action. We are from a starter clicking condition to started in just a couple quick seconds. That is it for the test of the jump starting capabilities. You can see here we only went down a few percentage points, under 10% battery loss on a single start from clicking of the starter. And then I did, as I said before, I did miss. I didn't hit record while I did the first jump, unfortunately. And it was about a 10 to 12% battery drop from dead where it wouldn't even light the lights.
Several days later.
Okay, so now that we've jumped with the Fanttik T8 Apex, now we're gonna go ahead and test out the charging. It took me a while to drain this because it had a smart off feature. After a certain amount of time, it would turn the lights off on its own, so I had to turn it back on a few times. To do that, again, you have to push the button and you'll be able to see here that it is not gonna come up, or it shouldn't come up with any power. Yep, 0%. So it's got just barely enough to light that. We're not gonna be able to light the LED lights on the front, so this box is dead. We're gonna go ahead and plug it in. As I said earlier, I do not have the 65-watt charger that is eventually going to come with the retail version of this unit, so I will be using an OtterBox charger in that. It does have a 30-watt charging port. I'm gonna use that. That is the fast charger on here. We're gonna see how long it takes to get this to a jumpable distance and see if it measures up to the statistics they gave us in the user manual. So hopefully we'll have a good battery charge here very quickly, be able to report on that and show you guys what it can do off of just a quick charge.
A few moments later.
Now that it's been 10 minutes, we've taken a look at where it's at charging. It is at 13%. So we got 13% out of a 30-watt charger. I would say that's not terrible. They do say the unit should charge to full capacity after 90 minutes on a 65-watt charger. Let's see what the 30-watt charger can do. We'll go ahead and hook it back up and let it charge.
A few moments later.
It's been 90 minutes and we are at 56% charge. I am only running on a 30-watt charger. So that isn't entirely a surprise that we're not meeting the charging specifications they talk about in their marketing materials, because we aren't using the charger they're talking about when they're using their marketing materials. So we're not going to see the same results of that 90 minutes. Overall, I really am pleased with the Fanttik T8 Apex. I think it's a great charger. It started the car very easily. It has good safety features. It was very easy to get it into the bypass mode. After turning it on, then we just press and hold the power button and the light button together, and it enters that bypass mode. Very easy to use. Quickly jump started my truck, and I don't foresee this thing being any type of problem to start your vehicle under most conditions. If you guys do have any questions about the Fanttik T8 Apex, please go ahead and drop those down in the comments below. I do try and respond to most of the comments or questions you guys ask in the comments. Make sure you go ahead and hit it with that thumbs up. It does help me out greatly with the YouTube algorithm, gets more eyes on my videos. And if you aren't already, click the subscribe button and the notification bell up in the top corner. That way you get notified every time a new video drops here on Driver J's Garage. We've got a few more projects coming up on the GMT 800 Yukon. We've got a few projects coming up on the Camaro and a few projects coming up on the BMW 3 Series. So a few of those, and potentially maybe something new showing up in the garage. Get out there, enjoy them, modify them, fix them, do whatever you like to do with your vehicles, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.